Hey everyone, in today's video we're going to see about building an agent in LangGraph. So LangGraph, everyone knows, it is a framework. We can use it for orchestration. So we can build multi-agent, we can do MCP connections, everything. So I'm just going to do a simple agent communication in this framework. I know it is a simple model and we can do a lot in LangGraph, but just starting small and you can develop with that, or even I can continue making or adding more in this orchestration. So before that, I hope you know LangChain. LangChain is a simple flow where you don't have to have a graph-like structure. So when you have an LLM and just ask a topic about it, ask anything about it, like a topic. So I just asked LangChain explanation using, Gemini 2.5 Pro, and it gives me that. It's a simple communication where you don't have to have a LangChain in it. You can generally just give a prompt for LLM and it replies back. So you don't have a entire thing in it. And when LangGraph comes in is when you have a loop, a graph-like communication, when you have multi-agent, a complex model, then you can go for LangGraph instead of LangChain. Why? Because it is easy to debug compared with LangChain. So you can have LangChain for a simple model like this for a single agent, but when you wanted to have a complex model and easy to debug and have a full state information, memory holder, everything, go with LangGraph, and let's see how to have one. So to have the state in a dictionary format, I'm importing type dict package and LangGraph. For that we need LangChain. I'm gonna use Google LLM, so Google Gemini. Yeah. So chat Google generative AI. Next, we need LangGraph, of course. So LangGraph, we have and graph we need in order to map your state, graph, and EndNote. So imported required package. Try to install all these and let's define an agent state. For that we need this typed dict. Okay, so input and output as in dictionary. Next we need an LLM chat generative AI package, which will have your model Gemini 2.5 Pro. Yeah, and template temperature is 0, the randomness, so we have a set. Okay, fine. So we have an agent and an LLM in the class agent state. Now we need to define what this agent need to do. For that, agent node, and node we have state, that is your agent. Agent is your state, right? That is when the question or prompt initiates, the task initiates. So we need to define what it need to do in agent. So agent state gonna do the response from an LLM. It takes a response from an LLM which invokes the state, supposed to be your input. So when you do an input, when you give an input, it may be a prompt basically. So it invokes an LLM, it sends the prompt to the LLM and gets back the response. So the response supposed to happen in the LLM because it should understand what your question is. So for that we are using Gemini, right? So here input. So input, why I'm just giving in this bracket is because we know dictionary, we just defined it in a dictionary. So we're just going to call the key. All right, that output is your response, right? So response is from the LLM. So content. Yep. So this is done. So we just defined a function for an agent, a task basically. That's the exact word. Now we need to name it as a graph. In order to avoid confusion, I'm just giving a direct name, graph. So state graph is our LangGraph's structure, which is defined by LangGraph package. So we can directly use it for our agent. So if it is multi-agent, we can define agent 1, agent 2, like that. So here I'm just having only one agent. So graph gonna have, add a node, it as node because it's a graph, and it will have an edge because it's a graph. Next, agent. Okay, so if you don't understand some of the parts which I'm writing, you can ask me in the comment. So we defined agent is our node. Okay, so node is your in graph we have the circle, right? A, B, C. So A, B, C is your nodes, and the path which goes from A to B, it's your edge. I mean roots we say, right? Yeah. So for the graph, set entry point. So it is a entry point. Entry point is something input place. We have only one agent, which is A, that's all. I mean node A, for example, I'm saying that's your agent. So that's the entry point. If you have multi-agent, if agent 1 is your entry point, somewhere agent C or D would be your end point. Okay, so there we can give end, but here we have graph dot add edge. So it is going to end agent, sorry, it's supposed to have a 10 quotes. Okay, so you have end in here. So only one agent, so the loop ends within. So no complex model involved. But LangGraph supposed to have or handle complex model. So don't use for single agent and all. Just for understanding, I'm creating this, but it is too much for good place. It is like having a small portion, like a spoon of food in a big plate. So understand that. Result is going to app, which is your graph. I'm going to invoke with the what? Input. Okay. Input. So we gonna give the prompt here. Explain about LangGraph. Okay, unnecessary caps. I don't know. So okay, what is this? Yeah, output we need. So we define both supposed to be a string values, right? So it will be string. Yeah. So whatever you get from here, it's supposed to give you the results. I mean, I'd need to print the results, right? So just going to output, call the key output. Yeah. So I hope this thing gives you the structure. So we defined an agent and a task for an agent, and we assigned a name, a graph for this entire agent. I mean, we just made it to have a structure that is node and edge, and the entry point where it should start and where it should end. And at last, we just calling or just combined all the graph into an app in order to get a result from. So we're going to print the results at last. So this is like simple structure. You don't have to think like, oh, it is very easy and all, but it is easy to debug, but to build it is little complex. For that you can use vibe coding and all. It is there always to help, but just have this basic understanding. It will help you big time. So let's run this. Python 3. Okay, LangGraph, right? Yeah. So, oh, I didn't keep the, one second. Okay. Temperature is not defined. What happened? Temperature spelling. Oh god. Temperature. Great. Okay, so we have a result. Okay, so it just explained what is LangGraph to us. So likewise, you can develop or build, add your required things inside. You can make a tool using it, or build entire application model, include anything in it. So LangGraph is one big thing that you can build anything using LLM in it. So wherever complex model involved LLM, you can have these kind of frameworks and communication applications. So yeah, it supports well. That's why we can't just rely on the traditional frameworks like TensorFlow, Keras, PyTorch, those things. It is more advanced and very feasible for current AI things. So I hope you understand these things. If you're not, you can always ask me in the comment or Discord or anywhere that you can find me, which I'm going to share in my description, LinkedIn, those things. So yeah, thank you. Thanks everyone. Bye.